Yes, into the breach once more, my dear JSA people and personnel. Here to do class debriefing, and this is kind of what it is. You want to start with always some kid, little sigma, into the big sigma about what it does, and that could be a dot. That dot is sigma. Sigma is a wave function about that event into two phase, and the number is zero because it doesn't quantify to anything. It doesn't quantify to particles, doesn't quantify to sunshine. Kind of has some stuff to do with space, but you have to turn it over and push that squib round all the way through the pipes. You got to get it from hydrogen to sunshine and sunshine to earth, depending on how you want to orientate that. The shouldering of this piece of equipment, so you got to go all the way down about what it is prior to the firing pin on the system. The watch system that we use, what we're going to define as sigma, has an nth number that's changeable in some A1 Torino mapping about separating other models or other systems that have managed to separate the models of what their time and position space matters are, utilizing the geometry of Epson sphere or black hole. It gives me some torsion, gives me some geodesics, gives me a projectile momentum equation, puts it back in the dirt of what's left over or what's supposed to be left over, because here it's not exactly a perfect cycle, is it? Center of mass, the breaking down of a multimetric unit of saying, well, that there's differences between terms as they're calibrated against, the rain on the bunny shop as Army do. Any form that you're going to have inside there's fire on, general furnace in there, and AC talking about this furnace striking again here in local times. Might be a little bit more specific to staying into it, but the notation should be some scaling effect of, well, from here to here and here to here to get warm, or anything else you're going to play. And this is fair equations. These are like kinetics and potential, I do believe, so motion and position. You got mass, or it's really more of its radius when you break this down into sunshine, because N is going to be an intensity field of how you orientate the same equation different. Stuff. Just sitting in it. Generally doing your thing, breaking it down. This is your stock charts, your models, your latticing structure, your neat models, and I forget exactly what they call it. Working your YouTube clone page. But your Corian, all those models, you may want to knock a piece of this off and utilize it, because right now it's super handy, or throw them all into the pile as you're going to connect them. You want to make it a giant button to get into there, some screen. Well, on this game, you could play it slow, watch them do a different index, which is a little bit of hydrogen helium. We don't know the star. We don't know the exact composition, where the trip limits start to do that mathity bit on what's going on at the 2U or 2-3 levels and things like that. When the ideal nature of the watch, life's a special operation, one of those models is really critical to explain the protracted warfare models on the bonds that's going to share, or over a time period with cycles, sunshine, or gravity, or bumping into planets. Eventually that Brownian mechanic's going to break, or Brownian motion is going to have some kind of triple point that's going to have a subset of triple points, because this is still rolling right? In the system, whether it be population or an IQ standard about what it does, we are trying to homogenize this test to get to there, and in a certain amount of time, because pitch, roll, and yaw, spin, charm, there's top or bottom quarks, there's other standards, which all of this is passing through. Essentially CERN watching collisions hit, but we're changing the magnetic phase. It's not changing it north or south, but more of a binomial aspect of what model we're trying to define as a critical thesis. At least I could go about the reading of this in a time-dependent operator that says better to break down the JSA into the pits that we need and try to grow those indexes in a tailored situation, Starbucks or otherwise. Hillbilly Spinner Shop, your math teacher, hardscaper, landscaper, hardscaper, interior design is going to get you into architecture or some kind of model of the E2 at the Manor on that thing banging around. Here we got some impossible warden problems and the signal strength of Princess Peach's dance here of the entry to the NTF or the beginning of a manor, an E2 standard of working your way to E8 theory on what would be going on as far as defining that limit or what you normally could do as a standard to say, well, how long did it really take you to do this? Well, the first time I did ever this thing, now I just go straight to my corner and I break that down. So over evolutions, the P or the overall P prime, is still defined as the same system. But there was differences between terms where both of those were within it. And if I did one of them, well, you can get some of the hydrogen dance in here, change Ben Eater stuff, just start throwing stuff on the core of your own work into it, put in equations that don't belong there, do what I want because I can. That's just the way it is, But I can't beat the gravity of these guys using it on my thesis as far as the smoker, the black holes, the quark stars, the strange matters, the indexes on what it can really be out there and how we're doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's pretty wildly out there getting into it about what it is and how everybody's playing the game. So life really is a special operation.